Well, we're joined now by Uwe Parpart. He is Chief Strategist and Head of Research for Reorient Financial Markets. Uwe, thanks for coming in.
Yeah,
well, what happens here? I mean, we're talking about, I guess we're just arguing the toss about the number, the figure, the final figure, right?
Right. Yeah, but basically, the parliaments have already voted on this bailout mechanism, right, on the amount. And that cannot change. So they're talking about how to use leverage to actually boost what is in effect 440 billion euros to something like triple that or quadruple that or what have you.
Is it enough?
I don't think it's enough. I don't think it's anywhere near enough because the one thing that's totally left out of the picture again is the bank recapitalization. And, there are just astonishing numbers floating around. The new stress test said...
It wasn't out of the equation, actually. There was one certain recognition amongst the 5 points that they came out with, and I think that was the third point, that the banks need to be recapitalized and ring-fenced away from the Greek issue.
That is correct. However, you have to look at the amounts that they're talking about. The new stress test that they did, the emergency stress test, once again, said 100 billion. This is nonsense. It's 10 times that, at least. And we saw that in the case of Dexia. Dexia alone had to basically be given 95 billion. And that was the soundest among the banks that had been stress tested before.
Well, it was, I think, 10th or 12th or something like that, safest in Europe. Yeah.
They were just, they were on the top there. They were certainly not a bottom-rung bank, right? So this is, there's no credibility here. And then,
but, okay, this has been going on pretty much in slow motion for 2 years now, hasn't it, Uwe? I mean, and people in Asia have been watching this very closely. Right. Have they managed to ring-fence themselves away from exposure to this crisis?
Yes, at the moment the answer to that is yes, because there are no banks in trouble in Asia at this point. There may be some weird stuff in the Japanese bank's basement that I don't know about, but essentially there are no real troubled banks in Asia at this point in time. And the economies are in fact doing quite well. There's been a lot of talk about China slowing to 9%. That's slowing. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody would be happy.
It's interesting you talk about growth, actually, because if we look at what's also missing properly is actually any clear path to an economic recovery for European economies right now. And with austerity, you can't shrink your way into paying back your debts.
No, I mean, this reminds me of 1997-98 in Asia, where the IMF imposed the same kind of recipes that the EU is now imposing on Greece and others. Try to shrink yourself healthy. It didn't work, and the economies like Thailand collapsed by 11%. The same thing is happening in Greece. You cannot do that. It doesn't work. In order to have growth, you have to have an idea of how the economy is going to grow and what makes it grow.
Right. I mean, we had at least one fund manager saying, expect to be underwhelmed, and this all comes through. Yeah.
Indeed. I mean, I'm overwhelmed by what I think of as an astonishing mix of political and economic financial incompetence in Brussels. It's just astonishing.
Uwe, thank you very much indeed for coming in. Uwe Parpart there from Reorient Financial Markets.